Hello and welcome back to Movies and Beyond. Callum's looking very worried because he's not starting off the episode.
Need control.
No, no, not today. So we're Movies and Beyond. The Beyond part is literally anything else. So
Yeah,
one of
we're
those
going to
things-
review some cooking books.
Yes, we could.
We've got to do that now.
I've got that Halo cooking book actually.
Yep, that's
we're gonna do a full episode of that.
Yep.
We're gonna make that one of our just special videos when we hit 100 or something like
Now,
that.
mate, we're doing that tomorrow. What are you kidding? I'm down at yours.
I'm down for that. Let's do it. Let's do it. We're gonna film it in living room tomorrow. Stay tuned. Bonus episode.
Yeah, cooking book review.
I am so down for that. I am so up for that.
See-
We are doing that because we are watching Killers of the Flower Moon. So we'll do like a little short or something. I'll just make a full fucking video and then we'll do the review for Flower Moon. Anyways, I digress. We are now talking about gaming. More importantly, Spider-Man 2 for the PS5. It just came out
A week
ago, yeah. And we've both completed it. We've both played it through.
What percentage are you on the...
I don't know the percentage wise because I've never turned the game off. It's always been on.
I'm on about 79. So I've got a few
I
more
think
sides.
I'm probably a little bit under you. To be fair, I've not done much of the side quest stuff, the side missions, I should say. We've both completed the story. We so full spoilers here. If you've not played the game yet, go play the game, get the story through. I'd even say go play some of the side stuff because I don't want to spoil that for you as well. Because there is some good stuff in there. What I've played at least, anyways. I've only played a little bit, but yeah, it's out now. Go play it, and yeah, that's the review. I'm joking. So thoughts overall, just quickly, out of 10. What me and Callum give it, and then we'll go into a bit more in depth, just so you've got an idea of where we're going, because we have varying opinions about this game, and it's going to be a little surprising. Spider-Man's my favourite character of all time. I love Spider-Man on the PS4. Callum's got loads of MCU hot toys. I have pretty much all of mine are Spider-Man.
See, the way you pointed at that, you pointed at my one and only Spider-Man.
I know, your Spider-Man's right there as well. But yeah, so I'm the big Spider-Man guy here. Callum loves
Just
the
the
character.
big guy.
Callum's just the big guy. But yeah, I give the game a 7.5 out of 10. I was gonna give it a 7, but the side stuff I've only played a little bit. It bunks it up to a 7.5. Once I do a couple more of the missions, it might bunk it up to an 8, but at the moment, as I stand, I completed the story, the main stuff, it's sitting at a 7.5. Callum?
Is you're going to hate me for this, a 7.75, and you said, why pick that number? It's so fucking awkward. Still.
Yes,
that's how
you
I
are
feel.
awkward. So,
Similar-ish score.
it's similar, yeah, but I feel like we have different opinions about the game itself,
Yeah.
just a little bit. We both agree that the story wasn't the best.
Not as good as the first.
No, the problem with the second one is it definitely feels more like a comic book
Yeah.
story. I am up for that. Give me that. I am down for that. But at the same time, I'm you've already established in 2 games. Maybe Miles Morales did go a bit more comic booky, and it was a bit more, but it still felt very grounded. You focused on Miles. You focused on Peter in the first game. When obviously Aunt May dies, it was such a heartbreaking moment. The fight at the end with Doc Ock.
And there's no moment
Absolutely
in the game
heart-wrenching.
like that.
There's not really a moment in that. You just have a friendship between Peter and Harry, and I don't feel like it was fleshed out enough. Gameplay-wise, Callum likes it more than me. I still like the gameplay, but I still feel like it's you could have done more with this, and you could have done it in a better way.
I'm completely happy with the gameplay. It's an improvement over the first game. And I think just on a technical level, I really feel like this is a game that's not fully utilised the PS5, but I think we're going to start getting games now which are, this is definitely next gen. Because when the consoles first come out, there's always that bridge of a couple of years of, we're still making games for the old console as well. I'm pretty sure God of War Ragnarok was for the
PS5 only.
No, it's pretty sure it was PS4 as well. I
Was
remember,
it?
yeah, people getting mad about it.
It was, yes.
So-
I think maybe.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Don't
Don't
me
quote us on that, but I'm gonna disagree with you just a bit on that.
You're not
because
allowed. It's
The only thing
you're not allowed.
the only thing that was
Dave,
PS5.
you're not allowed to
I don't give
disagree.
a fuck.
All right.
The only thing that felt PS5 to me in this game was obviously PS5 now have an SSD hard drive, which means things load near instantaneous. Just an example, there's a video online somewhere.
Just saying, if you say one thing I don't like, I'm gonna let off this flashbang.
Oh yeah.
Just right in front of us. So
Sure. Fuck it, why not? I'm gonna say save it for cookbook, but you know.
cookbook review.
I'm getting really excited about that cookbook review now. Anyway, so the only thing that felt PS5 in it was not even the graphics. The graphics.
I would say the controller in my hand.
I didn't have any of that stuff on.
No, I was holding a PS5 controller. That felt very close.
I'm gonna be able to talk now.
I've broken him.
Sorry, we said like.
Yeah, I've let the hiccups out.
Don't you fucking dare!
I'll let the flashbang off.
Oh,
It's literally just twist and
shouldn't
go. Why are you even worried? This isn't even your house.
Because I'm gonna go fucking blind.
Well, Grandma's not here, so we might as well.
Fuck off, right?
All right.
Listen. So, the only thing that felt PS5 in the game itself was literally like visually the tendril stuff and the Sandman bits. That's really only it. And obviously the SSD is much more faster. It's not like a powerful thing. It's just faster. You put an SSD into pretty much any computer and it will make the load times instantaneous. I am not shitting on the PS5 for that. I'm not. But I will say that graphically, yes, it looks... In some parts, it looks better. But there's a lot of parts where it, like... you look up close to, like, Peter's suits, like Spider-Man's suits, or even Miles' suits. They're crisp, but they were like that in the first game. So, don't break, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, whatever. But with Venom, you look at him and you look at the flesh moving around, and I'm thinking, this looks really blurry. This looks a bit like, I'm not saying it's looking PS3 era, but it definitely doesn't look PS5 era. I'd say it's in, like, the PS4 on its height, because it looked worse than Peter's suits and Miles' suits.
PS4 Pro era.
Probably, if that, yeah. There's loads of detail with, obviously, Venom and stuff. You get to play as Venom, that's another thing. That was a nice surprise, but at the same time, it was so fucking wasted. They gave the symbiote, anti-Venom symbiote, fully to Peter. As far as I'm aware in the comics, something similar happens like that where Eddie Brock still has a bit of the symbiote in him, but Venom's off somewhere else. And Mr. Negative... what awakens that symbiote and he becomes basically anti-Venom. They do that with Peter instead in this game because there's no Eddie Brock. But I just felt like, you could have done something a bit different, a bit smarter, where it's like you turn Venom into anti-Venom or something like that. So at the end of the game, you can roam around as Venom. Or you could have had a couple more missions with Venom because it's like, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Plot twist. Eddie Brock's going to be Green Goblin.
Do you know what? It won't fucking surprise me. It didn't surprise me in any of it. Like, we were saying before in the trailers and stuff, they make out that Harry is Venom. And it's like, ooh, is it? And I heard some theories about it being Kraven. I was like, oh, that's interesting. In retrospect, it should have been Kraven.
Kraven would have been the more interesting...
Yeah, it would have given his character a lot more depth because it was just like, oh, I've got cancer and I'm going to go out and do my final hunt. That is it for Kraven.
Yeah.
That, when you boil it down, that is it.
I wonder what my mum's going to do. Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
It's... Kraven, I think getting the symbiote would have been great. And then,
that would have been
Norman Osborn's working on another cure for Harry,
which is the Goblin serum.
And then Harry falls out with Peter because he destroys the symbiote instead, and then that's a perfect lead onto Harry becoming Green Goblin, which I don't have a problem with if he's going to be the Green Goblin. But then again, all that being said, I don't like how it's been set up, but I do like what's been set up for the third game.
Yeah, I mean they tease Silk as well. At the
Yeah,
end of the
Cindy
game,
Moon. Yeah.
which okay, I'm interested. I'm down for that. Give
But
us
them fuckers cannot make a Silk spin-off game in the middle because we don't
no,
even know
no. I don't
who the
feel like they
character is.
should
With
do that.
Miles, it was good because we've got this relationship with
Yeah,
Miles. We've got a connection to Miles. We've played as Miles before in the first game.
yeah, and the problem with Miles is in this game. I get it. Obviously, Peter Parker is front and stage, but it felt like the game itself, you've got Miles and Peter on the cover. It should have been them equally 50-50, and it felt like, as we said before, it was like a 70-30.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I wanted more Miles.
I wanted more
I
Miles.
wanted it to be both their games. But don't get me wrong, I'll say this: the stuff we got in Miles, I can't fault it. It's not as much as Peter's, and there's a couple things you can fault with Peter's story and whatever his segment in the game. But with Miles stuff, they did it near enough perfect. The Martin Lee stuff was phenomenal. That was great.
Yeah, any scene with Martin Lee, Mr. Negative, and Miles Morales was fantastic. I think that's the stuff that was reaching the heights of the original game
Yes,
emotionally.
yes.
That stuff was all great.
It kind of just went like, I mean, I was saying to you as well when I was literally swinging around, and I was thinking like, when all the venom tendrils are everywhere around the city, I'm thinking, where the fuck is like the authority presence here? There's no military or any.
Leave it to Spider-Man.
Leave it to Spider-Man. At least in the first game, they thought about that, and they had Saber International, Silver Sables, basically like an army, and there was nothing like that. I felt like there was no police in the game at all, and
There were firefighters.
there were firefighters at the start of the game, but that's literally it. Like, there's nothing else. I really, really wanted to love this game. I was hoping it would do something fresh, something new. I thought it'd surprise us.
Do you know what? I would say I do love it though. I had a great time with it, and for me, that's all I'm bothered about. Getting in from work, putting on a good game, and having a good time.
For me, it's just that imbalance of, you had a great, Miles Morales was a bit more comic booky. Obviously, the first Spider-Man game was it was comic booky, but it felt real at the same time. It felt like a really grounded, great, gritty, but fun and hopeful story. This just felt like, oh, this happens, so this happens, so this happens, and it felt a lot more comic booky, and in the sense of like, it just kind of doesn't want to delve into like emotional or into these deeper stories and stuff. Gameplay wise, I'm okay with it. It just felt like, when it boils down to it, it literally feels like the game's been modded. Like, they've turned off the speed cap, they've added like a little turn twist animation. They've just added cool features. Don't get me wrong, they're good features, but I expected more, especially when you're literally playing as like when you go from playing as Peter Parker and then you go to play as Miles in the first two games. Yeah, mechanically they're pretty much the same, but Miles felt so much different. Like, Peter felt very in control. Miles felt like he was just kind of learning to swing, and the way he swings. And it's literally, they just take that, put it in this new game, and then they add a couple of little things here, but they don't do anything different. Like, they could have done, they could have made Peter's flips are very like uncontrollable. Like, I just don't like flipping with Peter. I just feel like swinging, and swinging looks fine, don't get me wrong. I just felt like, I don't know, like the webline stuff, they added that. Why couldn't they have done a thing where you're sort of, you're jumping through the city, you automatically attach like a web line, and you sort of like, kind of like what he does at the start of the game when he gets flung off by Sandman. That should have been a mechanic in the game, instead of, when you do it, you've got to, say if you're up between two buildings, you've got to slow down time, press the triangle button, put a web zip line down, angle yourself on the line, and then do the web pull. Why couldn't there have been like just a quick, easy button to just him doing the line and launching?
Just press the PlayStation button.
Like I said, it didn't feel like a developer did this, because a developer would have done it much better. It feels like it's just a mod implemented in, if that makes any sense. I know I'm holding this game up to high standards. It's because I was holding it up to unbelievable standards. But
Unbelievable standards.
no, not unbelievable, but you know what I mean. Very, very high standards, and it just didn't live up to the hype for me. The story wasn't the best. The gameplay's good, you know. I hate that, you know, there's not any. They remove like a really cool move that Miles does, where you like fling them away and then you hold the triangle and it brings them back and does like a swing kick. You don't have any of that now. You've literally got gadget. Let the fucking gadgets do all its work. I felt like the gadgets were done a bit better in the first game because you had a bit more control. This just feels like you fling shit at them, and I don't even know what's going on half the time. When I'm using the gadgets, that's not to say with the symbiote stuff. The symbiote stuff felt like I knew what I was going to press and what I was going to do. But with the gadgets, I was just flinging shit everywhere, basically. Web bomb here, taser bomb there. I didn't focus on what I was doing with that. Whereas in the first game, I felt like you had a bit more sense and a bit more control. So that's what I'll say on that. Would I recommend you go play this game? Absolutely. You will have a good time. You'll probably have a better time than me. Loads of people are loving it.
Yeah, do you think this is, you know, just a matter of, like, you were setting your standards so high that you kind of did set yourself up for a little bit of disappointment?
Not necessarily, because the story still felt like... I mean, the last segment, the last third act of the game was just boss fight after boss fight after boss fight. It felt like there was no... I was hoping for more of those Peter and Miles moments that we loved in the first game. But we didn't get any of that. There's literally nothing of that in there. I was speaking to a friend in work and he was saying it feels like they're kind of passing the mantle to Miles. And I'm like... The only time they passed the mantle was like at the very end scene for me.
Which I'm very on board for.
I'm on board for it, but I'm just feeling like Peter's story isn't over yet. It didn't feel like it was done.
Well, no, that's why we're going to get Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, I know.
And he's going to have that time off. He's going to come back.
Yeah.
Die. And then...
And I appreciate the suit, but when Miles comes out with his brand new suit...
I'm going to fucking bring that up. What, his Adidas exclusive suit?
Yeah. That was just stupid. The fact that he come up there and said, it's a one of one, I want to do something original. Miles, you've got a whole cutscene. You've got a whole game about your origin, your version of your Spider-Man, the way you want to do it. The first game's quote or motto was be yourself. And he literally did that. So why the fuck is he now being himself 2.0 and he's got a suit that's not that great?
People change, Kyle.
That's not changing. That's just...
Unfortunately, it's just a bad change. That suit was fucking horrible.
It wasn't the best. It's not my favourite.
It's like as soon as you got the option to change it.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Don't get me started on the fucking suits in the game. I regret so bad buying that digital deluxe edition. You know how many suits I used?
No.
Fucking none of them. They like, and that's not to shit on the eyes.
I did say that before we got it. We've looked at the suits and they're all shite.
They looked, yeah, but the suits looked bad when they were in the promos for the first game. They didn't look that great. The Iron Spider suit looked pretty bad in the promo little bit you saw. So I thought, these might end up looking cool. Gameplay, they weren't. They were just, for me personally, I'm not to shit on the artist, but they weren't for me, and I didn't understand. They removed loads of great suits from the first game as well, which I'm kind of bummed out about.
Have we got the pantsuit? I don't think I've got
I don't think there's the pantsuit now.
What am I going to do now? What am I going to do?
They removed one of my favourite suits. It's the Mark... I think it's Mark 6, where it's basically like the classic suit, but it's really shiny. Obviously, they added Andrew's suit, but they've had to update it because
They've updated it like 3 times.
Yeah, they can't.
I was using it last night after we recorded last night.
Yeah, it looks nice. I
could definitely tell they changed it again, but I'm really liking it.
And Toby's suit, there's so many mods out there where it's like they've done Toby's suit better. Toby's suit still feels like it has metal all around him. It looked fine in the first game, but I thought, they could at least improve it in the second game and make it look more like it actually looks. I get it, the game is sort of semi-stylized and realistic, but at the same time,
Did you use Tobey Maguire's black suit when using the symbiote?
No, because I wasn't that high level. I only got to pretty much Tobey's suit towards near the end of the game.
Fucking hell, so you probably rushed through that story more than me.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was just seeing spoilers left, right, and centre, and maybe that was, maybe that doesn't help with the pacing, but for me, the pacing was still very,
Yeah.
it just, I don't know. And Venom's dead now, so he's gone. What the fuck was that?
Short game as well, shorter than the first.
It felt shorter than the first, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember we were playing it in Liverpool, and I was playing it in Liverpool, and I got to it that last night, and I stopped because I didn't want to finish
What part was it?
Finish it there. What part was it?
Peter still have the symbiote, or?
No. I just got rid of it. And just had a fight with Miles.
Yeah, I felt like as soon as you get the suit off, there's no time to breathe without it.
Yeah.
And you straight away go into fighting Venom and all his symbiotes.
Yeah. But MJ stuff in this.
They did copy and paste Last of Us, but if
it works.
It works. It did pretty well. I will admit at the end bit I was a bit like,
how come she's wiping these symbiotes out so quick?
So easily and quick. Like, I was playing it on the hard difficulty as well. I mean,
all right, Kyle.
They were one shot to you when you got hit, but I was like, literally, you could just headshot them and they're dead. So, yeah, I wish there was, there's horror elements in the game as well, like when you're getting chased by Peter when he's asleep. That was fantastic. It was just not long enough. There wasn't any more of that. There was one scene in that. And there's no real repercussions. It's like Peter wakes up on a bench the next day and goes to talk to Mary Jane, and she's just like, she's not panicking at all. She's like, that suit needs to come off of you. It's doing stuff to you. Like, I'd be freaking out if, say, Callum got the black suit and he went fucking apeshit and...
I don't need it.
Yeah.
I scare you already.
You do. So, yeah, overall... I enjoyed the game.
I did like the line.
It's the weakest out of the 3 games, Miles Morales and Spider-Man PS4.
But I would say story-wise, yes, it is. But I think gameplay-wise, it's the best. I really do.
See, I love the traditional fighting with your fists in the first game. In Miles Morales 1, I love the power stuff because that is his character. And they improve on the fighting stuff. In this game, it was literally just, you have gadgets all the time.
Yeah.
But the Venom symbiote stuff was great, but the gadget stuff, I wish I could turn it all off.
Playing as Venom were great. A little bit short-lived, but
yeah.
I remember you were sat. You just walked upstairs at Liverpool, and fucking Zoe was sat outside, and I fucking just turned into Venom playing. I went, don't fucking say out to Kyle. What the fuck?
Oh my god. Yeah, it was good, but it was very just it was very linear and it was very limited in what they could do with what it felt like. I mean, that Venom should have been the third playable character all throughout. He should have, you should have played as...
Yeah, because once the story's over and the game's over, I don't mind them going, alright, you can play as Venom.
It'd be anti-Venom, whatever. Yeah. I'm down for that. They hype up Venom so much, and I was ready to just be like, we're going to have one fight with this character, pretty much.
Yeah.
And we basically did. It was like one fight after another.
Yeah, but no.
At the end.
I like it. I did like the story at the end, though, Pete.
Oh, why the fuck is Venom immune to fire now, but he's fucking bitching about sound, but he's not, he can walk through fire like it's nothing. Fair enough if they want to do a different take on that, but it just seems a bit stupid. Cause, he's. I feel like if they did it,
it wouldn't just sound as well though. It was a certain frequency that they made. I really felt like it's like, well, why don't we just get flamethrowers? Because that would have been the argument of the game. It'd have been like, just fucking burn him.
Yeah, I suppose, but I mean, Venom's always been not immune to fire. It's one of his biggest weaknesses, and the character is still going. He's popular. He's had 2 fucking films. He's been in countless games. So I don't want to use that as an excuse, but I mean, come on.
Yeah. Favorite line in the game? Have you got one?
Yours
is probably, you're not a hero. I am.
I love all the lines when when you fight Peter as Miles. I think that was a great fight. I mean, it was a bit copy and paste. You kind of go from fighting Craven, like a big fight with him, and then you go to fighting Peter, which is another big fight. There's no room to breathe in between. It's fight after fight after fight, and I'm like, just give us something fun and Peter Parker or Miles, get into their groove a little bit, which they did at the start of the game. They show like a little bit of their troubles. People love this character not because he's fantastically strong and he has superpowers that are really cool. It's the person in the suit, and one of my favorite missions in the first game is where he's been he's been evicted and all his stuff is in the garbage and he's having to go swing around the city and find it. It seems like something really stupid, but it makes you feel like that character and have that struggle. In this, I didn't feel like Peter was struggling, yes, in the story, but I didn't feel like I was. I was just like fucking kicking ass and throwing loads of gizmos and gadgets everywhere.
Yeah.
Sorry, this review's gone on a bit too long. But
my favourite line is, it's got to be Miles speaking to Lee, though. And he says, "I don't forgive you, but this hate I've got in my heart for you anymore. There's no room for it." Somewhat along them lines. And I thought that bit... I cry at most things. I cry pretty easily. That bit nearly had me. That bit did nearly have me. But... see us out, Kyle.
This has been Movies and Beyond. I'm Callum.
Yes.
That's Kyle.
Yes. Yes. Like, subscribe, comment.
Don't do any of those things.
No. Jump off a cliff. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do
that.
that.
Because I feel like if that might have been like the push that somebody needed, like maybe the suicidal, and it's like, I'll watch this Spider-Man review and it'll stop me. And then right at the end, I'm just going to jump off a fucking cliff. So, no.
No, don't do that.
Absolutely. We're here for you.
We are. Comment. Let us know what you think about the game. What did you rate out of 10? What did you feel like it was missing?
Did you like the story? Did you think it's better than the first game?
Yeah. Do you wish that Venom was in it more or less, or like?
Yeah, that's another thing I want to add before we go. I really feel like as soon as we got Venom, the game was so rushed.
Yeah, like I said, it was just boss fight after boss fight.
So yeah,
I don't get why they showed off the Spiral and Null and stuff as well. It's like Null wasn't even featured. I get he's a part of now Venom lore, but it just felt like it was there for the sake of it being there. There was no... You could have just had all these other symbiotes be like... have the normal eyes and be like weaker symbiotes. But no, they just... Yeah. I was literally expecting Null to show up and he didn't, so...
Shut the fuck up. Right, see you later, guys.
Just hurry up and fucking end.
Yeah, right. Gen V review next.
No